Alright, welcome to another cheap hammer battle report. This time is going to be another asymmetrical battle against AI. Now, I've made some changes to the way or the style of playing because there's a lot of repetition when either ChatGPT or Grok tries to make lists. It just keeps being redundant with the lists and it just keeps making them the same way. So I added a couple of updates so I could make the battle somehow a little bit fair and interesting, whilst putting a little bit of a challenge on myself, and at the same time, just like being able to practice my armies as best as possible. So the only thing that I did is, like, in my asymmetrical battles, I give them an advantage of 500 points, but I don't allow them to have any magical items in their heroes. I think it's a fair trade-off. They get 500 extra points, but every time tries to make the list with like magical items, it just doesn't work. It's like it chooses just some random items. Like for instance, it uses the Runefang, which it's not terrible, but it's kind of like more a monster killer. I think it's a very terrible weapon. I would go for something better. Like, for example, if you go against armies that have multiple units, I would just go for the Cackling Blade. Or if you're going for monsters, I'll go for the Ogre Blade and maybe the Levitating Shield. So you can still have parry at the same time that you're using a double-handed weapon. I mean, like, things like that. But honestly, for the majority of the time, it just chooses the same thing. It just goes for the Runefang. It's like, why are you choosing that? Sometimes it surprised me and it chooses the Mace of Hellstorm or something like that when it creates lists of Empire. But it's just insane. It just goes all over the place. Sometimes it just gives items that don't make any sense. Like, he gives the Earthing Wrath to, a fighting unit, something like that. It's like, okay, so I'm just not gonna give you any magical items, because the thing about playing with AI is, like, you gotta be consulting or just make, like, for example, if you're going into the movement phase, you're going to ask it, like, okay, I'm gonna tell me what you want me to do with all of the units. Send a picture. The most important is, before you make any kind of movement, show the picture, show the depth, or show the possibilities, and maybe 2 or 3 pictures, and then make the questions, like, what do you want me to do with each and every single one of your units for movement phase? Or maybe lay out what spells do they have and what enchantments and anything that is, like, for example, close to it. And it will make decisions that pretty much anybody would do. Like, that's the thing about the Warhammer, is, like, there are things that are pretty obvious and you just should do them. That's it. It's like, if you get an enchantment, just cast it. It doesn't make anything. It doesn't make a difference. Just cast the spell and that's it, because you were going to cast it anyway. So those kind of things. But I arranged it in this way. Of course, I gave it because sometimes it just didn't have a battle standard bearer. That's weird. No, there is no army, or at least there is not a lot of people that play without BSB. So I assigned a BSB and I gave him the Gryphon banner. That was the only thing that I did. Other than that, it's like no magical items, just 500 extra points, So anyway, I'm going to be playing as the lizardmen. It's pretty obvious by the sheer sizes of the armies. It's the match battle number 3 from the match playbook, which the deployment zones are like this, in a diagonal way, and it has 3 objectives, 1, 2, 3, right there. And also it has a secondary objectives. It has the baggage train, which I haven't got the baggage trains yet, but I'm planning to get some. I've already ordered them so that I can just implement them in the battles. But for now, it's just going to be these 2 bases over there, 1 and 2, the one over there. So anyway, I'm gonna go through the lists of Empire. This is Empire 3000 points. It's militias, 30 of them. It's a veteran unit of halberdiers. and it includes a warrior priest, it includes a captain, battle standard bearer, Gryphon banner, a general, a witch hunter, and a level 4 wizard. I think he has elementalism. Yeah, I believe it's elementalism. A unit of 30 swordsmen and a wizard level 2. 20 handgunners, 10 crossbowmen, 10 archers that have already vanguarded, 1 mortar, 1 cannon, 1 steam tank with pigeon bombs, repeater pistol, and what was the other one? And I think it has another upgrade, I don't remember, but it has pigeon bombs and repeater pistol, or maybe Hotchlang long rifle, I don't remember. 20 flagellants, and a unit of 6 Knights of the White Wolf as allies with their Templar Master. Now on my side, I got a unit of 10 Cold One Riders. Hopefully they don't fail stupidity the whole time. 20 Soros Warriors, Skink Priest, Elementalism level 2. I think it has Battle Magic. Or elementalism. I think it has battle magic, actually. That's a good thing. And actually, I managed to land Fireball and Hammerhand, so those are 2 good spells. At least Fireball. I mean, like, assailment spells, you can just get, like, when you get to assailment and you don't have really good initiative, you can just get challenged and then your hero is done. You know your mage. So it's like, assailment spells are very dangerous anyway. A unit of 20 Temple Guard with my Sorrow Soul Blood. My Slan, Mage Priest, Battle Standard Bearer. I gave him a couple of things, the Wand of Jet, the Ichi Grob, and some things so it can cast better. Another unit of 20 Soros Warriors. Those guys are taking care of that, protecting that objective. And I got 2 units of what is it? Skink Skirmishers of two units of 12 Skink Skirmishers with blowpipes, and they are scouts. So they're gonna pop on my turn number 1. Anyway, so let's go to either Lizardmen or Empire turn number 1. Alright, it's gonna be Lizardmen turn 1, but first I forgot to mention Grok's strategic plan, because you gotta have like a framework on how to work with the AI. It has to give you an idea of what it wants to do, so that along the road that you make the questions and you send the pictures and everything and the decision making, it kind of fits the overall strategy. So capture also, for example, what I can recommend is like you can capture the overall strategy of Grok, copy and paste it in a text file and upload it to the chat that you're having with it. Remember, upload, and this is what I do. I upload both of the lists that I make in an army builder. I upload also the list of magical spells, like all the wizards that are playing in the game, all the spells, casting values, ranges, and what the spells do. So it could you remember them much easier. So that's 3 text files already. And the 4th one is the overall strategy of the AI, because sometimes it just forgets what was it doing or what was the purpose of any of the things that was doing with the units. So with those 4, you can consult and you can just keep going with the game. It picks up a good rhythm and you can control it. Anyway, so the strategy, basically, that layout that Grok has laid out is this. It says, overall game plan. You have a classic gun line castle with point surplus goal. Add threat the lizardmen with superior shooting artillery while they cross the open beach. Hold contests in 3 strategic locations, especially your side and plus center. Protect your baggage terrain behind the knights. Use the steam tank flagellants knights as late game counter punch. 1 Saurus Temple Guard, and Cold Ones are softened. The beach favors your range firepower. Use the water terrain on flank for anchors. Reserves can arrive to threaten the flanks or reinforce objectives. There were no reserves, so none of those things. Key roles from the picture. Okay, your knights on the right, center right, objectives are clear. Main castle, veterans, which is this one over here. 35, blah, blah, blah. Anchor the center left, center, general as BSB and both wizards. Demonology, blah, blah. Primary targets the temple guard, slam bunker, and hold one of your strategic locations. So it wants to use its main block to control that place, or to counter probably my main block over there. Missile troops positioned behind inside the castle or slight rise for maximum beach lanes. Prioritize skirmishers, easy picks, Coban riders, and Saurus blocks. Handgunners for volume, crossbows, archers for range. Artillery, target the cold ones or slant temple guard. Mortar, indirect cluster the Saurus and temple guard or skinks. Steam tank, grind forward to contest center objective or smash cold one riders. Flagellants, right of the castle, as durable, unbreakable, and countercharge a unit. They love charging disrupted Saurus. Knights of the White Wolf, near objective, baggage drain, use mobility to sweep lizardmen right flank, protect baggage, or contest center vortex objectives, drill plus furious charge. Okay, now his spells, what he's trying to do. Plague of Rust, Temple Guards, Land and Cold Ones, over there. Storm Cold, Wind Blast, slow advancing blocks, and push them back. Earth and Ramparts on your castle for extra durability. Demonology, the summoning and demonic familiars for combat pressure. Turn by turn flow, risks to watch. Go on riders plus old blood charge. Use shaft or shooting to blunt. Slant magic dominance. Your witch hunter and magic resistance helps. Skin blowpipes minor, but keep the wizard protected. This leverages your point advantage and defensive style perfectly against their more expensive but fewer elite units. Well, pretty much that's the whole strategy that he wants me to adhere to. So if I understand it correctly, he wants to use his cannon and his mortar against the Saurus, cannon against the Temple Guard or the Cold One Riders. Then it wants to use its main block to counter probably my takeover of the main objective. He wants to use his cavalry and his flagellants to go on that side, probably to take my Cold One Riders or to smash against my Cold One Riders, along with the steam tank. It seems like the steam tank wants to grind down my Cold One Riders as well, trying to just take over that side of the map. And wants to use his spells to increase this unit or to make this unit very strong. Maybe go against my slan or try to counter my slan. Anyway, so that's mostly and probably the militia to go over there and try to contest my objective, because I'm going to be having my hands full over here, so I got not much to counter it. Anyway, so it's Lizardman turn 1. That was the overall strategy of the Empire. Let's go to Lizardman turn 1. Okay, end of Lizardman turn 2. Turn 1, sorry. I deploy my 2 units of skin skirmishers over there, and I shot all my blowpipes onto this unit of flagellants and killed 10 of them, so that's a good thing. I think on another, on the next turn they will be charged, so I can stand and fire and flee, and maybe I can just wipe out that unit. Because since it's in the charge range and they got frenzy, they have to charge it, so I can wipe them out, and that will give me a good amount of points at the beginning, because they're very expensive. I actually even told Grok, are you sure you want to put flagellants? They're like so bad, like such a bad unit. I mean, maybe if you go against armies that have like, I don't know, something that doesn't have a lot of shots, they could potentially work. Or maybe like a hammer and anvil situation. Let's say you got a big block and you got them to, you know, counter or maybe get the flanks or something like that. Maybe they could work, because you want them to suffer wounds to increase their because they got friends, they got an extra attack, they got the flails, so they got the +1 to strength when they charge, and then they start getting all these attacks and everything every time like someone of them starts dying. But either of that, I mean, like, but if you have somebody that has like a minimal way of just shooting at them, they don't even have like light armor. So I suggested maybe you could put another cannon mortar. No, it just like I don't discuss too much with the AIs. I just let them do their decisions and take their character or take whatever they want. So anyway, you know, it's like 10 shots. It was like so many shots that I did against them, and I managed to kill 10 of them. Other than that, my slant managed to cast Drain Magic. So since it's 24 inches from these guys, it's going to give them a +2 to every casting value. So it's going to be almost impossible for them to dispel or cast anything. The only problem is I wasn't able to cast anything with I tried to cast Fireball and it failed. I think, I don't know, it got dispelled by this wizard over here. I don't know, he was 24 inches away from the Wizard Lord and it managed to dispel my Fireball. I was thinking about using it and just killing the archers. Didn't work. And I tried to cast also Fiery Convocation on this unit over here, but it failed to cast. Also, I ate the Itchy Grub to try to get like +3 on my casting value, and my toughness test stayed on 6. So I just suck up a 1 with it. So, you know, it's like Itchy Grub. It's good to have a +3 on any casting value. The problem is, like, you know, it's like a little bit of points and you can gamble it, but come on, I mean, like, it should be on 6s. I mean, like, you should be able to test on, like, only if you get like 6+. If you get a 6, then you lose a wound. But when you have like 6 or 5 to get wounds, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 to get the +3, I mean, it's not a good gamble, and I just took a wound with my slant, and that's not good, you know. Anyway, but that's pretty much it. Move the units a little bit forward. These guys passed their stupidity test and they just move forward over there. I think at the end I'm going to try to use them to maybe destroy the tank. That's like the main unit over here. The one that is like my main problem, because I think with the skink skirmishers, maybe I can just wipe out the flagellants and take care of maybe the Knights of the White Wolf. But either I'm going to be destroying the steam tank or the Knights of the White Wolf with these guys, and try to keep my blocks here alive. Or maybe with the Temple Guard, which is proven before that it is capable of doing it. Anyway, so it's on to Empire turn 1. Alright, end of turn 1 for the Empire. A terrible turn for the for the lizardmen. The mortar managed to land on my unit of skinks over there, blasted 6 of them away, so already they're getting half of the points of that unit. There's not a lot of points, but still, I mean, like, I can't do much with them. So half of those skinks are dead, but at least they hold. They managed to, they got the cold blood rule, and I managed to get 5 on the leadership. The steam tank tried to use its steam gun against it, failed. And tried to use its repeater pistol and failed. Tried to use its cannon against them, but overshoot them, went way further. But it managed to land pigeon bombs on that unit of skinks, and it managed to land the number 6, so it did a lot of damage. It killed like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It killed 5 of them. They failed the leadership test, and now they're fleeing off the board. So they're like, if I cannot like rally them in the next turn, bye-bye. So, I mean, at least they killed the flagellants, but I mean, it's like they got eliminated. The only good thing is this cannon misfired, and it rolled a 5, so it's disabled for the rest of the game, so I don't have to be worrying about this cannon, so that's a good thing. The mortar over here, yeah, I did that damage over there. These guys, I didn't realize it, and they target all of their arrows against my skink priest that's over there, and I didn't realize it. I didn't like hook him into another unit or protected him or anything. So, but luckily they didn't manage to shoot at him or to kill him. But that was just luck. Handgunners and crossbowmen shoot against the temple guard. Managed to do 3 wounds against them. Yeah, it's pointing right now 2, but I gotta change that. They got 3 wounds already. Over here, the casting values were so high, so the only thing I decided to do is I tried to cast earthen ramparts on this unit over here, but it failed because the drain magic spell from Hex from the Slan, it just makes the casting values really high, so nobody can cast anything. That's a good thing. So everything just marched according to Grok. Marched forward. And then they couldn't just cast any more spells. White Knights of the White Wolf move over there. This is the danger zone, because it's like, okay, maybe what I can do is, like, I have too much to take care about over here. But I still control my objective, and they are not in control of theirs. But what I was thinking is maybe charging with the Soros warriors against these guys, taking control of this sector over here, and then putting the temple guard, because it's going to eventually have to fight all of these people, putting the temple guard over here, ready to get all the charges. Make charge with these guys, or try to go get along with the Call One Riders and the Soros warriors, try to destroy that thing, because otherwise they're gonna double team me with those guys and this thing against my Call One Riders. I'm gonna lose a lot of points, and probably I'm gonna lose this flank. So I might as well just get over it and just like try to get these Soros warriors over there and take control of this this objective. And my skinks over there, I'm just going to have to move them through the cover, so I can just avoid getting annihilated, because otherwise they're just useless. Hopefully those ones can rally, and these ones I'm going to move them over there. I'm going to try to destroy the baggage terrain, and because I cannot capture the objective since I'm not strength 10 or unit strength 10, but at least I can try to trash the baggage train. Hopefully those guys regroup and I can move them or do something with them, but I gotta be careful at this point. On to lizardmen turn 2. Alright, end of lizardmen turn 2. Skink skirmishers move over there. Gonna hunt down the baggage train. Maybe go later for one of the war machines over here. Call One Riders charge into the steam tank. I was hoping to make more wounds because of the attacks of the pack, but they managed to don't make anything. And the Call Ones actually from the front rank managed to chip 2 wounds into the steam tank, so that's good. And I make it what was it? Give ground. So that's that. Soros warriors are ready to charge, are getting ready to charge the steam tank as well. And I'm hoping I can hold whilst this the Knights of the White Wolf charge me over there. Skink Priest throw a fireball at these guys. Cost 5 wounds. That was it. Managed to cast Drain Magic, but couldn't cast any other spells. I tried to use Fiery Convocation and it failed again, so whatever. But at least I got Drain Magic, so I can kind of deny their spell casting over here. Move over there to control of the objective, as stated by the banner over there. And just getting ready for the charges. Maybe because I equipped my hero very tough, maybe I can take him, but we'll have to see, because it's all of these units probably gonna get charged in the front, and then somebody's gonna try to look for the flank And the militia is going to go over there to try to counter my objective. The objective is free on first turn 1. Pretty much this one was free. This one was taken by the archers. That was in turn 1, and this one was taken by me, and the baggage turn still. So just to keep in the record who hold them, and let's go to Empire turn 2 to see what happens. All right, end of Empire turn 2. Very decisive turn already. Obviously here, one thing that I gotta clarify, there's more Knights of the White Wolf going over there, because I read the list again and I forgot to put 5 of them. There were actually 10 Knights of the White Wolf, and I only placed 6, so I just added the other 4, and doesn't really make a difference. Anyway, they went drilled, so they fit over there in this gap and charged the lizardmen with their Templar. They did the Cold One Riders, and they completely knocked them off. Plus the grinding wheels of the steam tank was locked in combat. Yeah, I mean, I managed to chip another one into it, but literally I did no damage. I got lucky over here. The Empire archers shoot at the Skink Priest. Actually managed to land perfect amount of wounds, and he saved both of them because they don't got any armor piercing, and he threw double 6s. So that was quite a relief over there. But I don't know. Battlefield is not going well. Obviously the handicap is quite the difference, but at the same time I think I kind of like misused some of my units. I should have just stayed with 10 over there, 10 Soros warriors there, split my units a little bit more, maybe not depend so much on the Temple Guard. Anyway, doesn't matter. Maybe get different kinds of units. Depends. What else? This guy shoot at Temple Guard, and this guy shoot at Temple Guard, and the mortar shot at the Soros warriors, and it scattered at the Temple Guard. These guys couldn't cast. These guys failed to charge. These guys were not in charge range, and they failed to cast both of their things because I got drain magic. So, but the unfortunate part was Fiery Convocation didn't. Guys marched over there. They're gonna go for the combat over there, or they're gonna go for the objective, to contest the objective. And I think probably they could just take it away from me, because unit size, they are much bigger. So I'm going to have to eventually fight them, and I'm expecting these 2 charges to complete over there. Once that's settled, probably I'm just going to end up losing the battle, because these are gonna charge to the front. Maybe I can do a severe amount of wounds with my old blood, and maybe I can take these guys out and hold on a little bit on the flank. But there's a witch hunter over there, and there's the captain, the general, the warrior priest. Everybody's over there, so doesn't really matter. We'll see. But over here, Knights of the White Wolf Pursuit, they didn't catch them, but that unit is full. Steam tank is free. So we'll see what I can do. Maybe I can just get the objective, the baggage train over there. But as it seems, I think I got one more turn with the lizardmen and see what I can do here. Okay, so lizardmen turn 3. End of lizardmen turn 3. A terrible, very, very bad turn. The Cold One Riders rally. They're just getting ready to get slaughtered. Skink Priest move over there, try to cast Fireball. Nothing, obviously. Soros Warriors pivoted. They're just waiting there. There's not much that I can do. I thought maybe I could charge with my unit of Temple Guard to this unit, I got a Sour Soul Blood with the venom of the Firefly Frog, the Cackling Blade, shield, everything. You know, I could do massive amounts of wounds to this unit. Maybe I can make them roll on double ones. And once I take them out, I can just pivot and concentrate on this unit, still being in range to take the and I got this unit over there still taking the objective. But I also give them the hide of the hide of the old ones, which subjects him to stupidity, and he failed his stupidity check, so he just hold the unit over there. Well, once they get charged, maybe I can do something, but objective is gonna be contested, but unbelievable. Then I managed to cast Drain Magic again. Great, that's wonderful. But again, I tried to cast Fiery Convocation over here. If I actually succeeded in having it, I would completely wipe out or maybe hinder this unit completely, and I could still hold my objective and nothing would happen. But I didn't use my spell scroll, my power scroll, and I just threw, and it was a pretty good throw. It was a 6 and a 4, +2 of his level, but they managed to dispel it with a 6 and a 4 and 2 of the level of his wizard. So, my goodness. Alright, so nothing happened. I couldn't do anything. The only thing is the skinks are getting ready to take the baggage train. But apart from that, just I'm going to see how this plays out. This unit probably is going to, I mean, like, they're not necessarily in need to charge my unit. Maybe they could just move over there and contest it, because I'm already, like, I got this one that is full. It's 20 guys, and they're still in their contest, and these guys are weak. So I still got a hold on it, and even if they charge over there, they don't take it away from me. Because I still got superiority. I got 9 wounds on the unit, so it's like just 11 Temple Guard plus my hero and these guys. So if they charge or they get into charging range, they can still maybe like maybe put me in a little bit of a jeopardy or a problem. But the issue here is, like, there is no reason for them to do that. They can just shoot at it and try to wipe them out. Use his steam tank, which has 360 degrees. I'll just take over there my Cold One Riders. Steam tank is gonna go over there, try to cause as much damage as possible to this unit. Shoot it with the archers, move the archers away or something like that, I don't know. Shoot it with the mortar, shoot it with everything. So this, and they're just gonna move in position to start like countering or contesting the objective. If that gets wiped out, this gets blown to pieces, and this thing gets its objectives contested and loses a lot of wounds, that's pretty much game at that point. So let's see what happens. On to Empire turn 3. Alright, end of Empire turn 3. Not much happened. Steam tank got over there. Use its steam gun as repeater pistol, pigeon bombs, everything. Did some wounds over there. Got lucky, didn't do that much. The repeater pistol chip up 1 wound out of my skink priest, and the archers couldn't manage to kill him again. Crossbow shot over there, nothing. Handgunner shot over there. Now the objective is contested. Still falls in my command, but at this point I don't think it really matters. Because my strategy collapsed, you know. It's like I trusted. I gave him the Ichi Grub, the Power Scroll, the Wand of Jet, and he managed to lose the Wand of Jet because he rolled a double 4. So I lose the Jet. Then I lose the Ichi Grub because it didn't pass from 1, 2, 3, 4. It fell on a 6. So it got actually suck up 1 wound, and I lost my Ichi Grub. And the only thing that I can maybe do at this point is try to cast with the Power Scroll Maybe go for a Shield of Sapphire somewhere over here, over there, because they're gonna take a massive beating. Go for the objective over here, Shield of Sapphire over there. Maybe throw a Fiery Convocation at these guys with a Power Scroll. Try to kill them. If that doesn't work, I'm done, you know, because this is coming. They destroyed. I'm already losing by a lot of points because they take out my Cold One Riders. One of his War Machines exploded, by the way, which is good. And I still have 2 objectives by the end of turn 3. But I lose my Cold One Riders. That's a very expensive unit. I'm already handicapped by points. And this is gonna drill and charge over there. It's gonna massacre my Skink Priest and then my Saurus Warriors. And this guy's just not gonna play games anymore. He's just gonna use his grinding wheels and stumps. Fortunately, it's my turn, so I can maybe just like shuffle my units to receive the charge as best as possible. Over here, they're just gonna push forward, or maybe I don't know how it's gonna be, but it just depends. If I get my Fiery Convocation, I would just take as a win, because I know that I got no more options. Gonna go for the Shield of Sapphire over there to see if they can hold with the word save, and then Fiery Convocation over here. If I can't get any of that, I'm just going to, in the next turn, just get pounded, because they're not going to be able to protect themselves. And against a charge of the Knights of the White Wolf with the Templar Master and the Steam Tank. And over here, going to try to go for the charge against these guys to take him out. If I fail my stupidity there and I don't get those spells, it's just GG already for me, because these guys are gonna go over there, take my my other objective. They're going to control the zone once they wipe out all of this. So on to Lizardmen, and I gotta go get the baggage train, but it takes 1 turn until we kill it. So anyway, on to Lizardmen turn 4. Alright, end of Lizardmen turn 4. Not bad. I managed to pass my stupidity test with this guy and charge into the unit of swordsmen. Did a ton of wounds, killed like 12 guys. They had to check on double 1 and they fled. I restrained and I reform. Be able to take those guys in the next charge, see how it goes. Maybe I can take those guys as well. I can still conserve my the objective. Through the Fiery Convocation, it's unbelievable. I threw it with the power scroll, and it came on double 1 plus 4. So Fiery Convocation didn't even cast. But when I miscast, I actually threw, what was it? Whoa, there's thunder outside. I threw 8 on the dice, so it was 8 on the dice, so it was barely controlled. So the spell magically, I got lucky. It managed to land on the militia. Because of Warband, they still got their leadership pretty up, but I managed to kill a bunch of them. They still have leadership 7 because of the combat leader of the militia leader, and plus 2 because of 2 ranks. So they got 9, and they barely passed, but that was a good thing. You know, it's like I kind of dwindled those numbers. I can still take these guys over here. I'm not sure of what's going to happen over here, because these guys are gonna, by drill, reform, charge my unit. That's gonna charge. If I start losing over here, then there's too much over here going on. At least I still have some control over here, but maybe I can chaff them over there with the Skink Priest. I mean, he's got to do something. Maybe I can take the militia over there. But yeah, on to Empire turn 4. All right, so Empire turn 4. I think this is when I'm just gonna finish the game. What happened? Well, the Knights of the White Wolf, to drill, they reformed. but they failed to charge. So that was a good thing. At least I didn't get crushed. The steam tank run over with the steam points, and I thought it could cause terror to the Skink Priest, but the Skink Priest actually stayed in place. I used it as chaff at this point, and it got turned into mulch by the grinding wheel, so goodbye Skink Priest. And then it overran into the Soros Warriors, but at least they stay still controlling the objective, so and so. But they're gonna be destroyed later on by the combination of the knights and the steam tank. Is just gonna be too much. Over here, I couldn't get Shield of Sapphire from them into them, so I couldn't get Drain Magic. Then what happened? They cast it with their Wizard Lord, Plague of Rust, on the Temple Guard, and then they casted Wind Blast and took a bunch of them out with Wind Blast. Then the handgunner shot at them, and -1 to armor piercing, strength 4. It was enough to wipe another 5, because they reform and shoot at the Temple Guard. So yeah, I mean, like completely, not a lot of them. Second rank didn't fire, but us with the first rank, they caused too much wounds because the saves are not there. And then the crossbowmen, they can only move or shoot. So 5 of them, and then they chip another wound. Pretty much just clearing the whole unit. It's just the champion and the Old Blood at this point. So yeah, it's like they're gonna get wiped out in the next turn probably. Just by shooting alone. Maybe I can charge, maybe I can do some wounds over here and there, but there's not much I can do. This guy stood over there and cleared a lot of the militia. So there's just 10 of them still standing. They were no match for the Soros Warriors, couldn't even do anything, and because of Impetuous they had to charge. So it would have been much better if it was the Swordsmen, because they could just stay and just contest the objective and then wait for the Soros Warriors to charge so they can lose. They still got their spears, so they can still fight in second rank, but that would be a much better option, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, but at this point, 50% of this unit, because it's not completely wiped out, so 50% of the points of the Temple Guard, 100% of the points of the what was it? Oh my god, the Kowan Riders, and yeah, I mean, like probably he's gonna get, well, got the Skink Priest as well. Probably is gonna get the Soros Warriors later. I mean, like, I'm running out of options over here. The Skink Skirmishers that were over there, they already destroyed the baggage train. So that's a couple of good points. But at this point, I mean, I'm not seeing. Maybe I'm gonna give it another turn to see if I can maybe cast a Fiery Convocation over here. And maybe I can charge, or maybe charge over here, Fiery Convocation over there, hold over there to see if I can hold. Maybe I can do some wounds over there. I'm not sure, but yeah, it doesn't look good. Anyway, on to Lizardmen turn 5. All right, so Lizardmen turn 5. I think at this point it's just it was a terrible turn. Things, my throws this game have been just awful. So I mean, I got lucky a couple of times, but most of the times it was just unbelievable how bad it was. Anyway, I thought I maybe maybe throw the Soros of Blood into this unit. Has the Cackling Blade, has poison attacks, got all those goods. I could just throw him over there. Maybe I could just start killing stuff. He's gonna get challenged, so I could take the challenge. I could kill the general. I could take some of those points. But the guy decided to fail his stupidity test again. Hide of the Old Ones again, failing me. Stupidity test, failing me. So he stays in place. This next turn he's just gonna get. Oh. Also, by the way, impact hits, grinding wheels, and then they lost like 3 wounds. So it was not there was not really a lot because of. And I thought maybe I could make 1 or 2 wounds into the steam tank, but no, that was not even the case. 3 hits, charge, close order. That's what that guy has, 5. They made 0 and they got banner, and they were losing already because of impact hits. They got 1 rank and they got close order. So I lose combat by 2. I say, all right, I got cold blood, which means I can throw 3 dices, and I still got my Slan over there. They can use his inspiring presence, and they can reroll because he's the battle standard bearer. Well, 3 dices twice, all of them fail. They fled, they touch the Slan Mage Priest, and kapoof. Disappear from the battlefield. I mean, they're over there, but disappear from the battlefield. It's crazy at this point. It's like, what is going on? And the Slan is over there alone. It's gonna get probably gunned down by any. These guys are gonna get. They still got. If they manage to cast, they don't even have to do anything. They can just cast something over here, cast something over there, shoot them with these things, get the steam tank in position, shoot with everything. And maybe those guys try to charge the Slan. They're just gonna wipe out my entire army. Of course, near the skinks managed to destroy the baggage terrain. UP, but that's not gonna make any difference at this point. I lost so many points, but the throws. I mean, I'm not so unsatisfied because of the fact that I was able to counter so many things with the little bit of army that I have, and managed to move the strategies. I mean, taking out the flagellants, moving the skinks, destroying the baggage terrain, controlling the objective for a lot of time. I mean, with a handicap of 500 points and so many terrible dice rolls, it wasn't that bad. But I mean, like, so I take that, it's like, it's just the dice rolls. The dice throws just made it very difficult. But, I mean, it was overwhelming at the point where none of the things that I casted and none of the things that I tried worked because of stupidity or terrible throws. So that's not bad. I mean, it's just bad luck. But the idea overall kind of worked. There were some highlights to my combats. Definitely just taking precaution with the steam tanks. Better if you just send a hero to try to destroy it, something like that. Again, Skink Priest, I don't know, could be good, could be bad. I mean, this time I got lucky that it gets Fireball, because, I mean, you can put the Arcane Familiar with him, and you can choose the spells, but that's the thing, is like, since he's a level 2 wizard, you get lucky if you get a couple of fireballs. The worst thing is that he didn't even finish the job. 3 archers are still standing over there, so it wasn't that effective. But yeah, I mean, like, it's a sounding victory for the Empire. I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, so I don't even need to check the points at this point. I mean, like, it will be a crushing victory by the Empire, just due to the fact that I lost 50% of my Temple Guard, lost the Soros Warriors, lost the Skinks, lost the unit of Kowan Riders, and now they are in control. Probably in the next turns they're gonna be in control of this one. That one is free. Baggage terrain is lost. Maybe it could be a moderate defeat for me. Maybe at a certain point, because I still have my baggage terrain and I still control one objective. But I lost this one. They can just rank up those points, and they have pretty much not lost anything. I mean, 50% of the militia, that's nothing. 50% of the archers, the mortar that exploded over here, but in terms of points, everything is still on the table. Like nothing has been. The flagellants, it's a pretty expensive unit alongside with the mortar, but I don't think it could be equivalent to the amount of points that I sustain over here. And probably the rest of my things in the next subsequent turns are going to be just destroyed. If they destroy either this guy or he just goes for the, like, if those two just go for the slam, I mean, it's over at that point. It would be just crazy amounts of points wasted. Good thing is it's ethereal, but ethereal, you know, is like, they could just use, for example, you could use a steam gun or, I don't know, throw some spells at him. Probably he could stay because he's ethereal. Then it's just gonna go to my Sorrow Soul Blood and just take those points. I mean, but I got nothing to just like turn the table over here. Anyway, so I'm just deciding to stop the game at this point. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next battle report.